how to analyze newspaper, ఎలా నేర్చుకోవాలి అనేది చెప్తాను. ఓకే, so now I will analyze the news from yesterday's newspaper and today's newspaper. నిన్న పేపర్లోంచి ఈరోజు పేపర్లోంచి వచ్చిన న్యూస్ I will analyze. Just think that how to analyze. Now the new students who entered into UPSC will face a problem while reading newspaper. What to read and how to read. I suggest you, if you can read a newspaper, start with Hindu. If you have time to read few newspapers, the Hindu and the Indian Express. It is not the New Indian Express, it is the Indian Express. Okay, but I suggest you start doing Hindu. While reading Hindu, though most of you are English medium students, you find it very difficult to use the words, to understand the meaning of the words. And generally English medium students try to understand the meaning by reading the sentence. Try to link the sentence and try to understand. That is a wrong way of civil services preparation. That is a wrong way of civil services preparation. For example, in a sentence, if you get a word which is not known to you, immediately open your dictionary. While reading newspaper, you should have Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary with you. While reading a newspaper, you should have Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary with you. In that dictionary, every day maintain a notes of meanings notebook. You should have a separate notebook. Those who are studying Telugu medium or English medium, though you are writing in the Telugu medium, no problem, but English preparation is a must. Every day 10 to 15, 20 new words you should learn by studying Hindu paper. And keep revising the notebook. Revising. Read the meaning and regularly revise the notebook. First thing. Second thing, generally in the newspaper we will follow the content of the article, right? When you read a newspaper, what do you read in it? You read the content of it. For example, you are reading an article on election commission. Just read, you will understand, oh, this is election commission of India. Election commission of India conducts elections. But you should not only follow the content but also the writing style. This is very important for you, particularly to write answers and essays. I learned my answers and essays from writing style of newspapers, how they have constructed the sentence. For example, this is unexpected. This has not happened before. You want to write this. Simple word, this is unprecedented. This is unprecedented, right? For example, you want to tell a fact which is very sad. It is sad but true to say that. It is sad but true to say that. So, first thing, you should have meanings notebook, you should have sentences notebook. Now, there is one crucial technique in civils exam. The teacher who corrects your paper will not correct all the answers and all the papers. For example, I am correcting polity questions. Say I am the examiner, I am correcting polity questions. I won't correct international relations questions. I won't correct geography questions. I won't correct history questions. So, if you have sentences notebook and if you have 100, 200, 300 sentences in your hand, you can manage entire civils exam. Either Telugu medium students or English medium students, this is the technique. Okay. One is meanings, second is sentences. So, in the exam, speed is very important, mains. To maintain that speed, you should have handy sentences, the sentences which are in your hand. How come you will immediately get the sentence without thinking while writing the exam? first thing is you should have your own sentences notebook, and you can repeat the sentences from one paper to other paper because same teacher will not correct all the papers. Simple. Okay, these two things for newspaper other side of preparation. And coming to content part, see, you are reading about a country called Venezuela. There is a country called Venezuela, and Venezuela have a president Nicolas Maduro. There is an issue in Venezuela now, Venezuelan crisis. But unfortunately, you read the newspaper what happened today, but you don't know what happened, the history part of the entire issue, the historical background of the issue. So it is the problem of the beginners. That is the reason why it takes 5 hours. To understand the issue, it's not very easy for you as you are a beginner, right? This is the problem actually. For example, you are reading an article about, say, model code of conduct in elections. You should know what is model code of conduct first before reading an article. Or for example, you are reading an article about Chief Justice of India and sexual harassment case on him. Chief Justice of India and sexual harassment case on him. Unless you know that there is a case allegation on him, you cannot understand the article. So that is the problem why it takes a lot of time for you. First understand the problem. Suddenly all the topics will not enter into your brain overnight. There is no Bluetooth. Okay. So how you have to study? When you read about Venezuelan crisis, initially you don't understand the article. You should open your Google and type Venezuelan crisis. Read the history. Even then you will understand only 50%. So like that, newspaper reading perfection will come only after 6 months. First 1 or 2 months it will take 5 hours. Next 3 hours. Finally now I will take 1 hour for reading. For me it takes 1 hour to complete the newspaper. I am studying newspaper from last 15 years. Okay. So don't feel bad that it takes a lot of time because 50% of your questions will come only from newspaper. If you take last 6 years UPSC mains questions, type the concept in the question and type the Hindu. You will find the concept in the Hindu. Out of 20-25 questions, minimum 15 questions directly from the newspaper. That's the reason why the time you are investing in the newspaper is not the time for wasting the time, but you are using the time to get analytical skills and knowledge. So by reading the newspaper, you are getting a lot of analytical skills, the new issues, new thinking, new perspectives. And those who are still feel they are weak in writing answers, one simple suggestion: letters to the editor. In the newspaper, there is a column called letters to the editor. For example, you want to support Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister's cause of special category status to Andhra Pradesh. For that you want to write a letter, express your opinion. So you will be writing a letter to the Hindu or Times of India or Indian Express stating that why Andhra needs SCS, special category status. So you are giving your viewpoints around 100 to 150 words because letters to the editor are very short. You know the length of your answers in mains 100 to 150 words. So every day if you have the habit of reading the letters to the newspaper, you will see how they are introducing their viewpoint, how they are concluding their viewpoint, what words they are using. And still if you face a problem, I will suggest you one more thing. Daily write one letter to the newspaper. Daily you write, you email it. They don't publish, don't bother. The only purpose is writing the letter. If you practice that every day for 360 days, 365 days, you are going to rock. So I told you 20 pages. 2 pages you write letter. Out of 20, 2 pages you maintain letters to the newspaper. For example, say today there is a from last 10 days, 15 days, Sri Lanka terror attacks. You write a letter. Based on today's news, tomorrow you write a letter. Okay? You need not bother about the reply or whether they'll don't see for publishment. They don't publish. I used to practice like that. Don't think that they'll publish. Okay? Those who wanted to write answers in Telugu, send that as Telugu newspapers. అన్నీ ఇప్పుడు మెయిల్సే కదా, మీకు మెయిల్ ఉంటుంది కదా, రోజు లెటర్ రాయండి ఒకటి 100-150 వర్డ్స్. మీకు అర్థం అవుద్ది ఎంత కష్టం ఒక టాపిక్ బ్రీఫ్గా 150 వర్డ్స్లో రాయటం అని. దెన్ యూ రియలీ అండర్స్టాండ్. ఓకే, ఇది కూడా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి డైలీ. ఇవన్నీ చాలామంది చెప్తుంటారు కానీ చేయటం కష్టం. అర్థమైందా? ఎప్పుడన్నా ఒకరోజు చేయకపోయినా బాధపడొద్దు. అది బాధపడి 10 రోజులు ఆపేయద్దు. ఈ సివిల్స్ ప్రిపరేషన్ మేజర్ థింగ్ ఏంటంటే కన్సిస్టెన్సీ లేకపోవడం. అందరికీ అన్నీ తెలుసు కానీ రెగ్యులర్గా చేయరు. సో నౌ టేక్ ద న్యూస్ పేపర్. ఫస్ట్ న్యూస్ పేపర్ డేటెడ్ May 7th, 2019. Yesterday's newspaper May 7th, 2019. Fifth phase of elections ended. 51 constituencies, 7 states. How many phases the elections are being conducted? 7 phases. Fifth phase of elections ended. Just read it and leave it. Next. Justice Bobde panel gives Chief Justice of India a clean chit. Justice Bobde panel gives Chief Justice of India a clean chit. As you all know, a lady who worked with the Supreme Court along with CJI, she has alleged that CJI have committed sexual harassment on her and he also victimized her. He also victimized her with unnecessary harassment of her and her family and arrest of her in a criminal case and all the things. And in-house committee was appointed. In-house committee was appointed and the in-house committee have not allowed her lawyer to represent the case and the complainant attended only for 2 sessions. And in-house committee gave the report that there was no evidence for sexual harassment and the findings of the report, evidences what they have collected, how they have carried on the investigation, all these things, nothing have come out and which is being now criticized by many. Is judiciary exempt from its own rules which it levy on others? Is the credibility of judiciary is being lost as an institution? See, rule of law. Be you ever so high, the law is above you. You might be a Chief Justice of India, but the law should be applicable to you equally. The law should be available to you all equally. She might be a common woman, but Chief Justice of India is also a human being. As a citizen of India, he is also obliged by the law of India. So in-house committee, judicial decorum, all these things are okay. But what about her unnecessary victimization? What about her removal? All these things should be answered. So this is the discussion that went on yesterday's newspaper, today's newspaper. The in-house committee have found that no substance in the allegations contained in the complaint of former employee of Supreme Court of India. No substance. The committee said there is no substance at all. So this is the thing, and and many human groups are saying the in-house committee report is highly disappointing. It is highly disappointing, and generally 7th page will be important. There will be some important news in the 7th page of Hindu. So generally out of 7th page there will be one important news. Kindly 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th you need not bother. 6th and 7th you watch, 7th particularly you see if at all there is any important news. For example, yesterday's newspaper May 7th, 7th page, there is one issue, small item they have written, but it is very, very important. PepsiCo company have filed a case against farmers. PepsiCo. You all know Lays. Children will eat Lays. Lays are being prepared from one variety of potatoes which the PepsiCo had particular patent. And some farmers have cultivated that potatoes and wanted to sell them out, not to the PepsiCo. PepsiCo told you have no right to cultivate without the permission. And you know what happened? Farmers went to the court, and farmers cannot store the potatoes for many months, right? Farmers cannot store. You know then what happened? They went to commercial court was silent. Finally Supreme Court said farmers were right. Farmers were right. This is a fight between multinational company and the farmer in India. So you should know in detail about what is this case. Why PepsiCo company have done that? Can PepsiCo company make profits out of farmers' hard work? How come the farmers should be exploited? This case have come out. Whether there are any cases similar to this nature which have not come out. Whether there are any cases similar to this nature which have not come out. Now PepsiCo is withdrawing cases on the farmers after the judgment. Let's see how it works out. Next, this is 7th page. Generally in the 7th page of Hindu, we will get 1 or 2 important articles. So you should focus on 7th page. Coming to editorial page. This page is called editorial page. This page is called editorial page. This article is called editorial. This article is called editorial. And this article is called lead article. The small long article is called editorial. And the lengthy article next to the editorial is called lead article. Okay. See, this yesterday's paper editorial speaks about Prime Minister Modi's speeches. Prime Minister Modi's speeches. And yesterday there is one more article. The Election Commission must act tough. The Election Commission must act tough. See, there is a concept called Model Code of Conduct, which everyone should follow during elections. Okay, Model Code of Conduct is issued by Election Commission. There is a separate Model Code of Conduct, rules, all these things. Even before every election, Model Code of Conduct will be issued. According to that, hate speeches, for example, recently Pregna Singh Thakur, a candidate from BJP, she told, I have cursed, I have given a sapa to Hemant Kadkade, that is the reason why he died during Mumbai terror attacks. Okay, so she was, now Election Commission was very angry on that. In the same way, there were many complaints against Modi and Amit Shah, but Election Commission is giving clean chits on them. So this is the reason why now Election Commission is receiving criticism. Some experts are saying Election Commission is showing partiality. It's showing partiality. For Modi one rule, for others one rule. For that reason, you should know about Election Commission. Election Commission is a constitutional body. Article 324 to 329 of the Indian Constitution deals with Election Commission. The origin of the Election Commission is in the Constitution. Okay. Election Commission mandated, its mandate is to conduct free and fair elections. And while conducting elections, it should follow impartiality. It should follow impartiality. But the issue is, election commissioner, chief election commissioner and 2 election commissioners are political appointees. They are appointed by the government. Government means the incumbent political party. There is no collegium or committee to appoint them. They are political appointees. So they are at the mercy of the government. They will show their loyalty towards the government. But earlier, some experts like B.B. Tandon, Gopala Swamy, they are all former election commissioners, and also L.K. Advani, BJP leader, they all told that there should be a collegium or committee to appoint election commissioners. Election commission should not be a political appointment. And free and fair elections are the backbone of democracy. This is what is the article says. Okay, election commission. And election commission should not be in a defensive mode. If somebody makes an allegation, no, I have not done that. This mode shows that it has done something. So, autonomy of the institutions and the legacy of the institution is very, very important. This is a message that was written in this article. The election commission must act tough. The election commission must act tough. And there is one more article about, say, conservation minus the people. Conservation minus the people. Simple thing. In India, in 2006 an act was passed. Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Act. Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Act. There is an act called Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Act. You know, in that act, the people who are in forests, living in forests and scheduled tribes, they have the right to stay in forests when they are living in the forest for a long time. And recently, millions of forest dwellers were asked to come out of the forests by the Supreme Court because of their lack of proof of their stay in the forests. So, the other says, see, traditionally, the communities which are living in the forests know better conservation techniques in the forests. There is a sync between the people who live there and the nature, and make the people who live there to conserve the nature rather than disconnecting them. This is a message that was given in this article. Okay. So, for that you should know that the Supreme Court recently gave the judgment and the stay have come on the judgment. All these things you should know. So, if you take, say, today's newspaper. Take today's newspaper. First page of tomorrow onwards, we should bring newspapers, everyone. First page, open the first page, those who bring the newspaper. Otherwise, those who did not bring the newspaper, kindly note it down. Any important point told by me. Supreme Court turns down opposition plea for increased VVPAT verification. Supreme Court turns down opposition plea for increased VVPAT verification. How many of you voted in the elections? ఏ పార్టీకి వేసారండి? ఎవరు గెలుస్తారు? ఎవరు గెలవబోతున్నారు ఎలక్షన్లో? మళ్ళీ అడుగుతాం మే 23rd. మీరు ఏం చెప్తారో అడుగుతాను మిమ్మల్ని. ఎవరు గెలుస్తారు సార్? ఎంతమంది అనుకుంటున్నారు టీడీపీ అని చేతండి? వైఎస్ఆర్సీపీ? అమ్మో, అవునా? జనసేన? క్లాస్లో జనసేన ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారు? భవిష్యత్తులో ఎప్పుడు పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ తిట్టకూడదు అనమాట క్లాస్లో. ఎవరితోనే పెట్టుకోవచ్చు కానీ పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ ఫ్యాన్స్ పెట్టుకోకూడదంట. నాకు ఎవరు అడ్వైజ్ చేశారు, అందుకే అడుగుతున్నా. ముందే చెప్పండి పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ ఫ్యాన్స్ ఎవరున్నారు? కమింగ్ బ్యాక్, సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ టర్న్స్ డౌన్ అపోజిషన్ ప్లీ for increased VVPAT verification. For the first time in the Indian elections, for 17th Lok Sabha, all over India we have 17 lakh VVPAT machines. VVPAT means voter verifiable paper audit trail. VVPAT means voter verifiable paper audit trail. See, VVPATs are meant for the voter to verify whether their vote went to the right party and the right person to whom they have voted, to make the elections foolproof, systematic. And Election Commission decided for every constituency to cross check one VVPAT machine. For every constituency to cross check one VVPAT machine. And Supreme Court directed not one, kindly cross check 5. 21 opposition parties led by Chandrababu Naidu, they are asking to cross check 50% of VVPATs. And Election Commission told, if you want me to cross check 50% of VVPATs, it will take 6 days to count the votes. It will take 6 days to count the votes. Supreme Court, they went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court turned down this. Supreme Court turned down this. So, you might get an interview question if you go to interview. Do you think all the VVPATs should be cross-checked with EVMs? Do you think all the VVPATs should be cross-checked with EVMs? See, in one way, it will ensure foolproof system. But literally, it's a Herculean task, very tough task, because India is the largest democracy. Almost 90 crore voters are there. If you want to cross check in each and every VVPAT and EVM, it's a very big task for the Election Commission. Okay, but idealistically speaking, it is it ensures perfect election. But practically it is impossible. So, if not all EVMs and VVPATs, slowly we should increase VVPAT cross checking with the EVMs, phase wise. As a civil aspirant, you should never speak like politician. Okay, Chandrababu Naidu can ask 50% should be checked, but you cannot tell that, because a politician will promise many things. So, for example, Telangana Chief Minister might say, by within 2 years, no, there won't be unemployment in Telangana. Andhra Chief Minister can say, if you vote for me again, I will make Andhra Singapore within 5 years. These things can happen by a politician, but a civil aspirant cannot be impractical. A civil aspirant cannot go into impractical mode or idealistic mode. So, this is the thing. And even the complainant against the Chief Justice of India with respect to sexual harassment case did not get a copy of the panel report. A copy of the panel report. If Chief Justice of India is entitled to get a copy, why not complainant? If Chief Justice of India is entitled to get a copy of it, why not the complainant? This you have to think of. And next thing, coming to, I told you don't read second page, third page, fourth page, they are only time pass news. Better to go for 6th and 7th pages, particularly 7th page. If you see, anger boils over in hungry Puri. Anger boils over in hungry Puri. Where is Puri located? Orissa. Puri Jagannath. Many tourists went there. Finally, they were under now cyclone fear, funny cyclone. They were completely encircled there. They don't have food to eat. They are unhappy with the arrangements of the government there. That is the issue. And many of the Orissa people, with the fear of funny cyclone, they have come to Vizag. So coming to today, last, if you see 7th page, last news, at the bottom of the 7th page, a film on the life and times of Mujibur Rahman. A film on the life and times of Mujibur Rahman. Who is this Mujibur Rahman? Very good. Mujibur Rahman is the father of Bangladesh. The father of Bangladesh. See, before 1971, Bangladesh is a part of Pakistan. It is called East Pakistan. Bangladesh is like similar to Bengal, near to Bengal, West Bengal. See, earlier Pakistan, when it got independence in 1947, divided, it has two parts, West Pakistan, East Pakistan. West Pakistan is present Pakistan, East Pakistan is present Bangladesh. West Pakistan is present Pakistan, East Pakistan is present Bangladesh. And Pakistan look like 2 years to India. If you keep 2 years to the India map, it is Pakistan. 1 year and the next year. 1971, Bangladesh liberation took place. The man who led the Bangladesh liberation called Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. His name is Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and he has a political party called Awami League. Now his daughter Sheikh Hasina is leading that. Sheikh Hasina is the daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Okay, remember. So whenever a new name comes, new place comes, you should locate them. You should see them. You should understand them. Okay. So there was a movie on the life of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman directed by Shyam Benegal. Shyam Benegal is going to direct the movie, and the movie is being co-produced by Prasar Bharati. Prasar Bharati belongs to India. Okay, we have Prasar Bharati, Doordarshan, Air India through Prasar Bharati Act. It was created through Prasar Bharati Act. You should also know about Prasar Bharati. If you read about Prasar Bharati, if you don't understand what exactly it is, it's waste. Okay, this is page number 7. Coming to page number 8. See, I told you always you should read editorial page. Editorial page. Page number 8 of today's newspaper speaks about prison of procedure. Prisoner of procedure. Prisoner of procedure. What is this prisoner of procedure? Remember. This article speaks about in-house committee headed by Mr. Bogde, Justice Bogde, against the allegation against Chief Justice of India, and they said there is no substance and evidence, but they have not revealed how they have investigated. They have not even allowed the lawyer of the woman, and there are 2 complaints here. One complaint is sexual harassment, second complaint is victimization and insult, and nothing has happened on this. There were many things which should be investigated, and the editorial questions about the veracity of the investigation, the credibility of the investigation itself, the correctness of the investigation itself. So this is the editorial today. And today there are 2 political articles. When the editorial speaks purely about lead article, purely about politics, need not read if you don't want. Need not read if you don't want. And if you are interested in politics and if you want to take political science optional, if you are interested, just read that. All for one, none for all. This article, first 2-3 paragraphs you can read if you want. Just read it, but don't take it to heart if you don't understand. And next article, now there are 2. Heading, now there are 2. And here I wish to tell you one point. Kindly try to follow the headings of the newspapers. You can use it as subheadings in your answers. Okay, how they are putting heading for a particular article. You can use as subheadings. Now there are 2. Already 5 phases are over. There are only 2 phases that were left. There were only 2 phases that were left. In the 5th phase, the voter turnout is 63.26%. 63.26%. So 5 phases are already over, 2 phases left. Now there are only 2. Next is on the political fringes. On the political fringes. See, what about the votes of migrants? What about the votes of NRIs? And what about the votes of various migrant societies and other people? This article deals with that. The exclusion of migrants from the electoral process reveals the caste and class driven nature of mainstream politics. That means there are some castes who settle down in places. There are some classes and castes who work like migrants. Generally migrants will not get a note, they stay somewhere. If at all they won't, they will go to the native place and vote. It takes a lot of effort. So the exclusion of migrants and other people from voting process means exclusion of some castes and classes from the democratic process, right? If migrants and other people, even now NRIs, if they are not allowed to vote, few people who are landlords who settle down in places, few people who have property who are rich, they generally enjoy, and few people who are poor for their food, if they go for some other places for their work, if they are not entitled, if they are not getting their voting rights, that means they are excluding from democratic process. Though they are the citizens of India, we are not providing them basic right for vote. This is the meaning of this. Okay. See, along with the heading there will be a subheading. There will be some gist of the article will be written as a catchy word. This is called lead. If you read that sentence, you will should try to understand why they write like that. What is the meaning of it? Why they have taken this concept as very important thing. Okay. Next. The National Register of Cruelty. The National Register of Cruelty. What is this National Register of Cruelty? See, actually we have a concept called NRC, National Register of Citizens. It's all citizens. But why the author use the word cruelty? You know why? Because this National Register of Citizens is very cruel. It is excluding someone without any reason, including someone without any reason. For that reason they have used the word cruelty. Okay. See, there is a lot of mismatch of more than 40 lakh people in NRC in Assam. They have maintained this NRC in Assam initially. There is a lot of discrepancies. So, those who did not get that, they are trying now again in appeals. But the thing is, people are discriminating those people whose names do not appear in NRC. And that is the reason why the author have given the heading, the National Register of Cruelty. Okay, next. Surveillance wars in space. Surveillance wars in space. Space means you know space, right? There is a war, surveillance war, nigha, surveil, supervisionary, supervise, surveillance wars in space. You know why the author wrote this article? Recently, last month, 1.5 months back, March 27th around, India launched Mission Shakti. This is a very important question for all of you. India launched Mission Shakti. The original name is anti-satellite missile. Anti-satellite missile. First of all, you should know what is anti-satellite missile. An anti-satellite missile is a missile which can destroy the satellite, which can incapacitate the satellite. And a missile which can destroy the satellite is called anti-satellite missile. And India got this missile. This is called ASAT, anti-satellite missile or Mission Shakti. Till now, only 3 countries in the world have got it: America, Russia and China. America, Russia and China. Now India also got it. The problem is, many experts are saying this type of anti-satellite missiles are the Cold War era politics. Cold War era means there is a fight between America and Soviet Russia, capitalism and communism, capitalist world and communist world. At this time, this type of missiles have come, and now this type of missiles might end up in space wars. If somebody lands a missile, somebody lands a satellite, you attack that. Anti-satellite missile. This is how things go. It might end up tomorrow in space wars. So you should understand what is what. Okay. And next is Belt and Road, single file. The article below, single file, Belt and Road 2.0. See, what is this Belt and Road? You all know the country called China, neighboring country to India. Do you know that China-India border is lengthier than India-Pakistan border? Is little bit lengthier than. So we have a neighboring country called China. Already it had attacked India in 1962. China wants entirety of our Arunachal Pradesh, Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh. And this China have internally a willpower. It wanted to become #1 power and it wanted to become #1. So it also wanted to contain India, control India. China wanted to have slowly showing its soft power and trying to control the world. This is the basic idea of China. It started a policy called BRI, BRI, Belt and Road Initiative. BRI means Belt and Road Initiative. It is connecting with this initiative many countries. So BRI forum, the second BRI forum it is conducting. Call more than 100 countries and conduct talks. So initially, you know what happened? Though every country is very happy with China's BRI, wanted to be part of China's BRI, but slowly they understood that China is pulling them into debt trap. China is pulling them into debt trap. Appula ubilo kuripotunnaru. China slowly gives baits, slowly gives money and trap. This is called debt trap diplomacy. This is called debt trap diplomacy. Now Xi Jinping wanted to allay these fears, clear this air. For that reason, he might show off much more thing in Belt and Road Forum 2.0. Okay. So, and here generally Hindu paper at the end you will have data point. Some data will be important. Keep watching that. What is written in the data point. And see, till the elections you have election page number 11. 12 they will conduct election page. Need not bother about election page if you are not interested in politics. And international page, generally page number 12 or 13 they will give world. You keep a watch on that. International page you have to read. That's called world. Page number 12. Reporters freed from Myanmar prison. Reporters freed from Myanmar prison. See, two reporters who wrote on the Rohingya issue against the government were imprisoned in Myanmar, and under Official Secrets Act they were there behind the bars for 500 days. They were released. When this article comes, first of all you should know the Myanmar. Does India have a border with Myanmar? Yes. How many kilometers? Around 1600 kilometers. And what is this Rohingya issue? Who are these Rohingyas? Muslim minorities. Myanmar says they don't belong to Myanmar, they want to send off. Worst form of human rights crisis is going on against Rohingyas. No country owns them. In India around 40,000 Rohingyas have come. India also want to deport them to other countries. So you should understand what is this. You should also understand the neighboring countries of Myanmar including Bangladesh. And you should be able to map with neighboring countries of Myanmar. So whenever you are reading international page, international articles, you should have atlas with you. Orient Longman or Black Swan, any atlas, one geography atlas, every day it should be Oxford Dictionary and atlas. Suddenly you don't remember all the countries and borders. It takes time. It takes time. So you should have your own atlas with you all the time. And to see the dictionary and to see the atlas, generally we will procrastinate, we will postpone. That you should not do. Immediately you should look into the atlas and read the entire issue. Okay? Next. It is safe for tourists to return to Sri Lanka, says Sirisena. 252 people died and Sirisena is talking that it is safe for the people to return to Sri Lanka. It's not so easy now. Sri Lanka want to develop tourism again, but it is not very easy for Sri Lanka immediately to attract tourists. Even Indian tourists will not go to Sri Lanka immediately. And the worst thing is in Sri Lanka, with respect to international terrorism, IS said, I am the reason for terror attacks, IS terrorist told, and the political parties are playing dirty politics in Sri Lanka by blaming each other without solving the problem. They are blaming each other without solving the problem. Okay. And sometimes very interesting news will appear in the last page, the back page. Today there is no much news, but generally here one news will be very interesting. Okay. Even this you have to study. So this is how every day you have to read newspaper.